Hello, welcome back, guys. It has been a very, very long time coming. This is Cash the Great with the Advanced Freeways channel on Twitch. I'm back from a 2.5-year hiatus. I was originally gonna, sit tight for the long-awaited sequel to City Skylines 2. But then I started thinking, man, I gotta brush up. I gotta hone my skills again. It's been a while, kind of coming out of some semi-retirement, if you will. I need to hone my skills because I'm gonna be building a ton of interchanges and freeways in the second game. So I was just revisiting a lot of techniques, and actually wanted to cover some ground that I hadn't covered yet. First of all, I want to give a shout out to the City Skylines Interchanges Facebook group. Y'all are really smart, really brilliant, super funny people. Love the content and the posts you guys are putting up there, so keep it up. So anyway, I'll just hop into it. Welcome to New Montreal. This is basically my laboratory where I just experiment, making all kinds of crazy interchanges, putting them in different situations, seeing what sticks, what works, what doesn't. I do have traffic despawning off right now, so I'm getting wrecked. It's pretty brutal. High density everywhere. And no, I'm not really into public transport. I just love to build roads and just see if my road system can handle all the traffic and the population. And then out here's the boneyard. This is stuff that I've either worked on and just wanted to back up, keep out here for later use, or posterity. A lot of fun interchanges I've been working on. Basically, this area has been the bane of my existence. This big industrial, commercial area up in the north here. I've tried everything and then some. Threw in a really awesome diverging diamond with timed traffic lights. That took forever to configure. Went through a ton of different versions of it in different traffic phases, tweaking the heck out of that. You know, we've got like a sort of a continuous flow Y is what I would call it here. I even threw in my high-speed one-way diamonds. Where, I developed this where I had a lot of crossings where I had one-way roads going over two-way roads. I've got a Parklow A4. I've got this very large clover stack. And then what I like to call the ramp to end all ramps. I was using integrated ramps here. So rather than some sort of a diamond interchange, you basically have a two-way ramp. Half of the ramps, if you will. You can see it a little better over on this experimental interchange that I designed. So rather than diamonds, you've got basically half the ramps. So instead of 4 ramps, you've got two-way ramps there. Did the same thing over... Whoops, sorry. Camera's all crazy. Did the same thing over here, and now I've got 2 lanes coming off into 4. So literally I've got 2 lanes going right, 2 lanes going left. This was the final solution, if you will, when this failed kind of ramp situation coming up to an interchange just didn't really work out and started generating more traffic jams. So, but where I'm really, really getting slammed is over at this diverging diamond that I had first created. There's just too much traffic trying to get in and get out, even though I had these big one-way 6-lane roads. So I'm really looking to upgrade this, and I gotta give some good credit to the guy that showed me in the Facebook group. He showed me a grade separated version of this. Zacarlo Van Alderen, and I'll put him in the post. But basically, this other guy named Crumbs was the builder, the architect behind it. He made a grade separated version of this, which eliminates, even though this is down to a 2-phase traffic light, the big problem is all these cars have to wait. And honestly, if you could get some grade separation in there, get some bridges, this thing would fly. So that would be like, I mean, this is already a very advanced interchange, diverging diamond. And this is a high capacity diverging diamond with extra lanes and all that, and lane math behind it, and time traffic lights. So this would be even a souped up version of this. Basically, I spent 4.5 hours yesterday afternoon, and I came up with this. And this is probably, yeah, I would say this is the most compact I could get it, but still make it look real. I mean, I could certainly slam some of these ramps closer in, maybe shorter runways, and try to get this whole thing more compact, but it would really look crappy. So, the hardest thing about this, the reason why it took 4.5 hours, I had to use every trick in the book to maintain symmetry. So you don't see it now, but usually what I'll have are like, I usually build it out with two-way roads first, because they actually, you know, your streets actually generate a grid, whereas freeway segments do not. So, and I had to start in the very center here, just these 4 roadway sections, and just branch out, and it was endless, practically endless trial and error. You know, trying to get the arcs just right, and trying to figure out the spacing between these crossover roadways. That was actually the hardest, was like, how far apart do I want these 2 sections to be? And then how much do I want them to curve? I finally got these nice, elegant, kind of S-shaped curves. And what allowed that to happen was stretching this out more and then putting them close together. I really wish I captured a time lapse on that. I'm not very good yet with my videography, but that'll eventually come. But yeah, this is freaking great. I'm excited. I've got Move It here, where I can save all the nodes and road segments and export, and then re-import over where I would like to do this. This will take a lot of major surgery. It's basically an open heart surgery on this area, you know? This interchange is the heart of this area. So if I go look through all these... It's somewhere here. Hang on, guys. I know I got it here. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So if I superimpose this, you can see it is significantly larger, and that's due to that grade separation. You need more runway to build a bridge, and that's just by its very nature going to extend the ramps outward. Just need more room for it, so I'm gonna have to bulldoze this entire DDI. There we go. There's a good superimposition, if that's a word. So it's gonna go right up to, unfortunately, right up against that very large clover stack, and then to the east, you know, I'm probably gonna have to just change the course of that whole freeway. So this is really putting an extraordinary effort just trying to get this in. So I don't think I'll be able to get a time lapse of this, but I will see you on the other side when I got this going, okay? I can't hardly wait. This is going to look really cool. So got a lot of faith in this one. Basically, this is still a service interchange because you're going to have a freeway coming through, and it's still between freeway and street service, even though this road is just huge. I mean, it is, you know, we got an 8-lane road here, 4 lanes going each way, and it's serving a major industrial commercial area. So it's as close to a system interchange as you can possibly get. Everything is grade separated, basically. Weaving and all that's pretty much kept to a minimum. We've got lane math. The only reason it's still a service interchange is it's street to freeway at the end of the day here. If this had been another freeway, yeah, we would have had a system interchange basically. So very high capacity. I will see you on the other side, and we'll see how this works out. All right, guys, we are back. And I have got to say, I'm very, very happy with how this was still, just barely, able to fit in here without compromising the rest of the area too much. I did have to redraw some roads. I'm going to have to redo these streets and these neighborhoods. But like the freeway itself, this was the biggest concern I had. I was like, this is going to have to come way out here and make some stupid like sharp turn, or like if I can't make it look natural, am I gonna have to move this whole interchange? Luckily I didn't have to do any of that. This is in close proximity to the Clover Stack, so I did have to do a lot of like lane linkage and trying to figure out you know, a reasonable amount of time for the cars to like still be able to get over here, or the cars coming on to weave in and continue on if they want to go straight. So there was some tricky stuff there. The hardest part was really, I would say, lining this up with the roadway. So I spent probably a good 5 minutes just hovering over here, ready to plop it down, because I didn't want to like do it in the wrong spot or a little bit off, because then I'd have to delete everything and then realign it again. So anyway, I've had it paused this whole time. This is the moment of truth here. Let's switch it on and let's, I don't know, let's see what happens. We'll speed up the time here. Woo! Oh, this is fun. This is fun, guys. Look at this. Just gonna let that just fucking churn through all that traffic. Oh, wow. Oh, I like this. None of this traffic has to stop, really, and wait. There was just so many traffic jams. Now, what can happen sometimes, I'll tell you, for the newer folks here, you put in a really high-powered interchange like this, high capacity, sometimes what happens is the other interchanges around it or intersections have trouble keeping up with it because it's just burning through traffic. It's kind of like trying to drink out of a fire hose. Like, what's the matter, man? Can't you keep up? You know? So this might be able to crank through a lot of traffic, but sometimes it could potentially put pressure on other interchanges and intersections nearby. I like this a lot. I still have a traffic problem. I really got to go through a major overhaul and redesign these neighborhoods, figure out my street situation. I do have a lot of one-ways here, and some of them just are not really jiving with each other. So one thing I would say, too, as a general rule, is if you're confident in your road building and your design skills, but you're still just, everything you try is just not working, start thinking outside of the box. Like, maybe your zoning's incorrect. Like, maybe the way you've got your actual city laid out, maybe it could be a little more efficient. This part tends to be super busy because it's really the only major industry around, so everybody's got to drive up here. That's probably the root cause of my issues. The other thing is, how many roads into and out of an area do you have? You could have the most efficient interchange in the world, but if there's only one, if that's the only way in and out of your neighborhood, there's probably going to be a lot of traffic try to go through there. So just something to think about. But wow, I am like super happy with this. I'm gonna like just sort of let it run for a while. I'm gonna put it on high speed now. Let's just kind of You know what? I'm gonna despawn the traffic too. Let's clear it and just let this run for a little bit and see what happens. Luckily, I got a pretty fast 16-core processor, so it can handle the traffic. And I'm actually excited to see how my system handles the second game, because City Skylines 2 will not have a cap on traffic, on vehicles, the number of vehicles on the map, and a few other things that were previously capped. So it'll be interesting to see when, you know, the devs let us melt our computers to our heart's content, just kind of how much your computer really can handle in the second game. But wow, I think this interchange alone, not alone, but I think it's probably gonna fix about half of my issues in this area. There's just so much traffic going through here. Normally, your standard, you know, diverging interchange would be fine. Like, this is incredibly efficient, even with traffic lights. It's still only like a two-phase traffic light. It's incredibly efficient at getting cars on and off the freeway. Where you may run into some issues is, and this goes for most interchanges anyway, service interchanges, is how much traffic do you have crossing the interchange? Traffic that's just going straight through and not actually trying to get on or off the freeway. If you have a lot of pressure going across, you may want to do more bridges in other places. Or if none of that works, then you might want to do something stupid crazy like this and just get a really, really souped up DDI. For those interested, this is, I would say, the most accurate term for this is a grade separated diverging diamond interchange. It's a mouthful. But this looks really great. There was one other thing I wanted to say, and I'm kind of forgetting it. I'll show you some of the lane markings, too. Generally, these splits here, normally I would only force these two lanes to stay at the right, but seeing as there's not a lot of time before the next decision over here on this split, what I'm telling it, you know, I'm giving it some extra leeway, like, okay, this guy can go straight or right, and then the traffic coming off of here, instead of forcing it to just stay in this lane, I may actually have it be able to cross over an additional lane. So stuff like that to think about when you have a split really close to a merge. You really don't want to have them this close. You probably want to have, ideally, your next exit or next split down here, maybe. So instead of like 10 or 20 units away, maybe 30 units away at least, I would say, would be very nice. This is absolutely kicking ass. This is rocking it. Now I remember what I was going to say. So basically, it's almost a system interchange. Almost. The thing is, there's almost zero conflict points. The only conflicts that I can see are these little merge points where you still have some weaving. You got cars getting on and cars trying to get off. But if you mark your lanes properly, you link your properly, that should be kept to a minimal. Other than that, there is no conflict, and this thing is just crushing it. So, love it. Can't pronounce your name, good sir, but thank you for the idea. Thank you for showing me the screenshot and the video of the guy who did this before me. I don't think these grade separated diverging diamond interchanges exist in real life. I could be wrong about that. I don't think they do. I know Greg was saying the diverging windmill, so now we have both freeways with crossovers. He was saying that does exist. If it does, it's pretty rare. Pretty rare. But I don't think this grade separated diverging diamond service interchange as a service interchange exists in real life. That would be an extraordinary amount of work just to get an exit going. It'd have to be a very, very high priority, important road. I don't think you could fit it into a downtown exit where you would actually have the traffic volume for it because, in case you hadn't noticed, this takes a lot of land. Oh yeah, my building burnt down. Yeah, I don't really have much of a fire department because I build roads. So, but yeah, I'm not sure what the use case would this be for this in real life, the exact use case. But damn, can it handle a lot of traffic. So with that, thank you. If you've enjoyed this video for the whole ride, like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch, Cash the Great. I'll link all that stuff. Till next time, guys, you're awesome.